Okay. Here we are. Welcome to our
Hello.
class. Yeah, sorry about that. Using somebody else's account. I logged in way earlier and anyway, I knew I could get in, but then I couldn't find the right meeting to join. And I've been in all sorts of meeting rooms. She'll have all sorts of good things going on when she logs back into her Zoom. So welcome.
Yeah, and let's wait
yes.
a few seconds because we had some people on and now they got to try to get back on.
Okay, yes, that is great. And that gives me a minute to check in on the couple people I had jumping on as well. Make sure they're not having any problems with the link.
Hey, Virginia.
All right, there. Let's see. Oh, Lily's back on.
Okay.
Good.
Susan, Nunya.
Let's see, Michelle is not on this call.
Looks like she's trying.
Is
She might
she?
have just popped on. Yes.
Okay,
There she
there
is.
we go.
Awesome. Anybody else that you're waiting on, Faye?
Yeah, but it's okay.
No, we can wait a half a second. Let me, well, we'll wait while I figure out how to share my screen. While we're waiting, in case anybody else needs to jump on, go ahead and type in the chat, if you will, any questions or things you want addressed regarding stress, sleep, emotions, mood, whatever. And then I will make sure between Faye and Joel and I and anyone else who's got some awesome ways to use oils, I'll make sure that we get those covered. So while we're waiting, let's do that. Just go ahead and type anything in there so that we can be super helpful. Hopefully what I have for you is super valuable as well, but I want to make sure that we cover any personal requests.
Yeah, come on, you guys, bring it on.
Help me out. Let's see if you can stump us. Although I do have my trusty book right over here. Okay.
Nice to see you, Virginia.
Oh, okay, George. I should take blank instead of drinking because it will relax me. We can cover that one. We can help.
Book that you have. That book that you have, what is it? What is it called?
Oh, so, well, I have a few. I have an app on my phone that's just called Modern Essentials, and I use that app on my phone daily. But I super love this book when we start to dive into whatever, because it's all based on studies, clinical studies that have been done with essential oils. So evidence-based essential oil therapy.
Oh, nice. Nice.
And
That
you can see I do.
Scott Johnson, correct?
Yes, Scott Johnson. He is amazing. You can follow him on Instagram or Facebook. Fair warning, if you start to follow him, you will not think that I'm as smart as you might think I am. Because you'll be like, I saw him post that yesterday. Oh, she read that on Scott's page.
Yeah. Is there a digital version of that? Do you know?
There is a Kindle version.
Okay.
I'm a super pen and paper person.
Okay.
Yeah, we do the essential oil site. What do we call that? Boot camp.
I'll look it up. I'll look it up.
Boot camp, and we do that once a quarter, and we cover lots of the stuff in the book, and then we have an ebook, a Google Doc that we can share with you with Cliff Note, kind of the top remedies with that as well. So Michelle, if you're super interested in that and don't want to buy the whole book, I'm more than happy to send that Google Doc to you. Faye may even have a copy of the link. We can make sure whoever invited you gets you.
Yeah, I can probably find that on the Amazon.
Yeah, that's where I got it.
That's where you got it. Okay.
Yeah. Good old Amazon.
Right. Isn't it Scott A. Johnson? He goes by.
Yes. Dr. Scott A. Johnson. And he has several books. This one it, to me, well, it's the only one I've bought, but as I went through the synopsis, it seemed to be the most non-medically trained person friendly
Okay.
versus like,
Layperson?
yep, super smart person who doesn't know a lot of medical terms.
Okay.
There. So, all right. George broke the ice with his question in the chat. Okay, Lily, we've got this going here. Good job. When I'm super stressed, I begin to snack. Oh, yes, that's a good one. I'm an emotional eater too. Yay for eating our emotions, but we can also talk about what to do instead. All right, I'm going to jump into the regular presentation, but here's the disclaimer. I tend to talk fast. Do not hesitate to interrupt me. Just unmute and be like, whoa, whoa, Elise. And I am not offended. That makes me happy. That means you're getting all you can out of the class. Or throw it in the chat and Faye and Joel will interrupt me and tell me to slow down. Because the most important thing is that you walk away from this class with something that you can do to feel better tonight or tomorrow. I want you to sleep better or stress less or feel happier or drink less or eat less or whatever it is you need with what we share tonight. So don't hesitate to pause me and ask for some clarity or for more information on anything that we cover. Okay?
Okay.
All right, let me share my screen. This is going to take me half of a minute, maybe. Come on. I'm actually going to move my camera.
What do you want less of in your home?
All right, you can see it?
Yeah.
So here's our regular kind of our cover of classes. And so today we're going to be talking about mental health, emotional stress issues, and you're going to see that that is definitely going to play over into sleep and energy as well. We'll touch a little bit on immunity. If you saw my post in our Facebook group, our immune system is weakened when we're stressed. And I'm going to say that could also be because we are emotional eaters and ruin our gut because we're eating crap when we're stressed. And just stress itself weakens our immune system. So this is what we're going to touch on. I am going to preface this with, this is not a one-shot situation. Okay, I can tell that I am on the wrong camera. You guys, I am so sorry. Let me fix this so that I don't look like I'm looking at the wrong people. There we go. That's better. We're not looking at health in a glass bottle, just in one thing. We've got to look at our whole lifestyle. And I love to just quickly look at this pyramid whenever we start a class, because we've got to look at our nutrition, stress eating, emotional eating, right? Are we moving? Our movement is a great way to reduce stress and to manage stress. And we'll touch on that just a little bit tonight. Rest and manage stress, looking at our toxicity. What toxins can we remove from our life? And then that informed self-care is also so important. You're here because you want to be more informed about how you can take care of yourself. That's right where you're at. So this is what we want to be looking at when we are talking about helping our stress. Oh boy, here we go. So again, we are going to take a natural approach and we are going to be looking at the root causes. Now, with stress, that's tricky because the root cause of stress, I cannot fix. Balancing your bank account or your boss or your kids or whatever it is that's stressing you out. But I can help your body with the right nutrients and supplements and essential oils. I can definitely help your body handle that stress better. So I first came to doTERRA because I was looking for something to help with my stress. My husband and I had taken care of my mother-in-law while she was fighting breast cancer. She was a widow and we were her full-time caregivers. And after she passed away, I found myself not sleeping. I was in a total slump. And I did not want to take, I had taken antidepressants before and I didn't want to do it again. So I started looking for essential oils. I started looking for natural things, and I happened to hear on the radio that essential oils, lavender specifically, could be calming. So I started Googling around. We live in a really small town, so access to lots of different types of essential oils was very limited for me. Fast forward a few months, I ended up at a farmer's market where there was a table with someone with doTERRA. And that is where I found essential oils specifically to help me deal with stress, anxiety, and just the life changes that came with not having my mother-in-law to take care of anymore and dealing with those emotions. So I love that doTERRA is not only safe, it's affordable, and it's effective. And I will touch more on the oils that I used for that when we get a little bit closer. Now, these next slides, I'm going to go through quickly. This is foundational health right here. If you're not taking doTERRA's lifelong vitality supplements, please, please, please reach out to who invited you and ask them why you should be taking them, because it's not a short answer, but cliff notes are, you're going to feel better. You're going to have more energy. It's going to take 60 to 90 days for your body to fully cycle through. Your red blood cells live for 45 days, right, Faye? Or 90 days. Yeah, 3 months. So it's going to take time for those old cells that don't have the nutrients they need to die off, and the new cells to be able to get functioning with the right nutrients to really get the full effects. But this is doTERRA's #1 selling product, and it has a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you don't feel better, don't feel different, send it back. But less than 0.1% of vitamins that are ordered are ever returned. That says something. They're the #1 product, and 0.01% are ever returned. So talk to who invited you about the foundational health that you need to be looking at. And this will help with your mood. It will help balance. When your body is nourished and has those micronutrients that it needs, your mood is going to feel more balanced. Mood, I don't know. We can have as many moods as we want, I guess, at one time. All right. I'm going to go through these quickly. doTERRA's essential oils are not adulterated. They've been tested over and over again. It's important to know that most 80% of essential oils on the market today are adulterated some way, with they're added, have synthetics in them, or they're not pure, or they're just flat out not essential oils. Birch is an example that was tested. 0 of them, 27 that were tested didn't even have birch in them. Ours were not one of those in that testing. We have amazing birch essential oil. If you want to read some studies that have been done specifically on doTERRA's essential oils, grab your phone and take a picture of this QR code. If you haven't already, this is something that we talk about on almost every class that we have. Bottom line, Roseman University found that the therapeutic potential of essential oils is dependent on the composition of the whole oil, making the sourcing, the processing, all of that critical to the results that you're going to get. And so super great article that you can read there. doTERRA also has an amazing Healing Hands Foundation where they partner with growers, help their homes build schools, medical clinics, clean courses, whatever it is, and help to be able to help those growers have a sustainable income. So you're really impacting the world when you purchase doTERRA. doTERRA's essential oils are safe. The only side effects that you're going to get are you're going to feel better. And that's because we don't have the preservatives or the synthetics in the essential oils that your body can't process. So you know that you're always going to be safe. This is just a visual of what can happen when you're using essential oils that aren't pure, that have chemicals or synthetics in them. This little girl went to grandma's. She was used to having lavender on before she went to bed. Grandma used a different brand of lavender, and it gave her a chemical burn. And you can see over the days just how long it took for that to heal. So safety is a real issue, and it's something that doTERRA takes very seriously. When you're applying an essential oil topically, test it first in a spot and look to see if it's recommended that you use a carrier oil with it as that barrier to slow the absorption into the skin, to help prevent any type of heat or burning that could happen. You're not going to have a chemical burn like this from doTERRA, but you might have some sensitivity to some oils that are absorbed really quickly and are considered hotter oils. So take the time to reach out to who invited you if you're not sure. Again, another great study. Grab your phone and snap this QR code if you would like to. I'm going to skip through and we're going to keep going. The effectiveness of essential oils is amazing. And this was one of the first things that I learned about essential oils when I dove into doTERRA. And that was the essential oil's ability to cross the cell membrane. These particles are so small and they're so compatible with our bodies that they just go right into that cell. That's why we can take care of viruses. That's why we can heal literally at the cellular level. Love the picture of the peppermint leaf oil sac, kind of just a great illustration of where these essential oils really come from, whether it's the leaf, the rind, the bark, the root, the twigs, whatever it is. They're amazing, amazing products. Affordability is a big deal right now. Inflation's crazy. There's a lot going on in our economy. And so it's just great to note that although a bottle of On Guard, I think, is around $30, you're getting 300 drops. So one dose is 14 cents. If you want to look down there at the bottom, treating an earache at home versus going to the urgent care, you're looking at less than $1.50 versus anywhere from $30 to $125 because you're paying for the doctor's visit as well as any medication. So just a good example for you to look at if you are new to essential oils and where they could fit in your home healthcare. So here we go. Mood, emotional, and sleep support. We are going to mostly focus on these 3 essential oils and the products that are centered around them. But we can talk about, there will be some other oils sprinkled in here. And I'm happy to talk about anything else as well. But we're going to talk about balance, adaptive, and serenity as our focus. There are a lot of oils that are good companions to help with these things, but this is where we're going to focus. Balance will forever be my favorite oil blend. Balance was the oil that I found at that farmer's market. I like to tell people that that was my gateway oil. I smelled that Balance and immediately I felt like all the swirling yuck was alphabetized and color-coded without me having to do anything. I could think clearer. I felt like I could focus, and that anxiety was dissipating because my head wasn't constantly swirling. It also helped me to sleep. It helped me to turn my brain off at night. And so that is an oil that I have loved. I also use Adaptiv daily in one form or another. And we'll talk about the different options you have with Adaptiv, as well as Serenity, which we think of Serenity as sleep, but it's so closely related to our stress levels. I wanted to make sure we talked about that today too. So any questions or concerns so far? Because that was a lot really fast. Okay, I'm going to check the chat because I can't see it right now. Here we go. Okay. Oh, shoot, Virginia, I am glad you're not homeless. All right. So a couple of tips with Balance. Balance is a blend of oils. They're all root oils. They're all tree oils. So if you can picture the roots of a tree just grounded in the ground, that's kind of what I visualize when I'm using balance. It just helps to ground us, helps to give us that strong foundation to have a more calm, peaceful feeling. So some of the benefits here, it is easily absorbed into the skin, perfect for topical application. You don't need to dilute it out of the bottle. It's great. I like to apply it to my wrists and right here, and then I take a nice big deep breath. I'll also put it on my feet at night, but I like to have it where I can smell it. It's also amazing in the diffuser. Now, fun hack, stick it in your hair and you'll smell it all day long. But the cool thing is if you're dealing with like static flyaway hair, balance will take care of that. I know that's crazy. I wished I should have found the picture. My daughter used to do dance competitions. She had her hair in a ponytail, long hair down the back of her neck and on her back, and it was just this frizz-proof ball. She was ready to go out. I didn't have any hairspray. I'm like, well, I heard balance could work. Put that on my hands, rubbed that down that ponytail, and it was sleek as could be. Not because it was oily, but it took the static out. So could always put it in your hair. I'm going to.
Now,
Yes.
I don't think you have a slide, but what I always thought was cool with balance was there was a picture of red blood cells clumped together, right?
Yes.
And then
Yes. Why didn't I think of
on
that?
balance to the bottom of the feet, and within, I think it was 3 minutes, maybe less.
Yeah.
The blood was just flowing freely. The cells were all unstuck. So I thought that was really cool. The other thing about balance, and I don't know where I heard it, but kind of makes sense, that balance helps to rebalance our electromagnetic field. So we all have electromagnetic field around us that gets disrupted from all the electronics, computers, cell phone towers, everything. But this helps to rebalance us. And so I always put it over my heart and also on the bottom of my feet. Yeah.
I love those two. I forget about that video and it is so powerful. If we've got time at the end of class, I will pull that up and we will watch it quick because it's so powerful to see that. I did not know that about the electromagnetic. We see things about grounding, walking around outside barefoot, grounding mats, grounding sheets. I'm making a sheet spray with balance. Like, I'm loving that.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah.
These are some other random little recipes that I found. If you like to DIY, if you like to spruce up your diffuser a little bit, one of my favorite things to do in the bedroom, one of my favorite things to do at night, no wait, I am just gonna say that wrong. One of my favorite things to do to help us sleep at night with a diffuser is put the oils in about a half an hour before we go to bed and shut the door, turn the diffuser on, shut the door. And then when you go into the bedroom at night, ready to sleep, you've got just this kind of a aromatic spa experience going on. I have done balance and bergamot together. I love it. I have not done balance and vetiver together. I've done balance and cedarwood. Those are two that I love. But just wanted to share some of these. If you want to take a screenshot, you can. They are great options for using balance along with the other oils that you have as well.
I use vetiver all the time. I love vetiver, serenity, and balance together. Great combo for the roller bottle. That's already on there. But vetiver is such a calming oil. It's classified as a sedative. So,
Interesting. So
yeah.
My husband's in law enforcement, high stress, and vetiver is his sleep oil. He puts it on the bottom of his feet every night. Lavender didn't cut it, Serenity wasn't cutting it, cedarwood wasn't cutting it, but I'm like, we're pulling out the big guns, grab the vetiver, and on his big toe every night has been the best thing for him.
Other places, back of the neck and behind the ears, because back of the neck goes right up into your brain, hypothalamus, and sides, you have your vagus nerve, you have, carotid artery, artery that leads right to your brain. So I tend to do that, and it's easy to reach.
Right, it's easy to get there. The other place I like to put oils for emotions is right inside my elbows right here, because those blood vessels that are closest to the surface are going directly to the heart.
Right.
So I love being able to use that when I'm looking to help my emotional state, my stress. So, but
Can
yes,
you
carotid
can you
artery is a good one.
Excuse me, can you show us, because we're looking at your screen. Can you show us where you said
Oh,
your elbow?
yes, sorry, I can stop my share. Oh, shoot, and then I'm over here. Okay, never mind. Trying to
You're
use
good. You're good.
Sorry. So it's just like right here.
Oh, okay.
Inside your arm. I just take the roller bottle, or I'll just show you.
Also, like inside of wrist, going up your forearm to your crease.
Elbow.
So
Yeah,
just,
so
yeah.
I'll put it here and I'll roll my wrists together, and then I just put my wrist up here and I put my wrist up here and then I take a big deep breath.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's
Now that one you said, Bediver, how do you spell that? Because that wasn't on your picture, on your screen.
V as in Victor.
Oh, okay.
Vetiver. Betiver.
Okay, first time I've heard of that one.
It's a
Perfect.
grass
Okay.
from Haiti. Mm-hmm.
and it, like when you smell it, like you immediately, I don't know, you
It's
just smell
very-
earth. It's
Yes,
very
very earthy.
mhm,
Okay.
Very earthy.
yeah.
The
It's
first
awesome.
time
Thank
I
you.
liked it,
Thank you, ladies.
Actually, the smell, it's but it's
Yeah.
it's a good one. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Whoops. Good questions. Thank you, Lily, for asking and making me clarify. So let's go to, we're going to touch on sleep a little bit, guys. So doTERRA has used Serenity and come up with an amazing sleep system. And while they were developing that, they're like, let's do some studies. Let's see what's going on with this. And I can't explain to you all the things they tested and all the things they did. But I can tell you that what they found was that regular use of the Serenity system, so that you are getting a more restful sleep, a more regular sleep pattern, they were able to decrease the age of the immune system by more than 3 years. It was like 3.7, almost 4 years, 3.86 years for regular sleepers. Irregular sleepers didn't get those benefits. But when we're looking at the age of our brain, our cognitive age decreased by 7 years in regular sleepers. And what I love, because my husband is in law enforcement and we've got lots of people out there that work graveyards, even irregular sleepers saw a decrease in their brain epigenetics by more than 5 years. So we've got to get to sleep. And what disrupts our sleep a lot of times is stress, anxiety, our brain's going nonstop. So balance is going to be something. We touched on vetiver, touched on, like, I'm loving this grounding spray on my sheets with the balance. Wild orange is another great oil to clear your mind. I literally, if my brain's going 90 miles a minute, I put a little bit on my finger and I literally wipe it on my forehead. It just, I don't know what it does, but it clears your brain. But if you need more than a swipe of wild orange on your forehead, doTERRA has a 3-step sleep system. So they've got their Serenity essential oil blend, great for topical, great for in the diffuser. And then their sleep stick also has valerian in it, which is an herb that is known for helping sleep and to increase the quality of sleep without waking up groggy. And it's kind of like a little deodorant stick, and I just swipe it on the bottom of my feet. And then the Serenity soft gels, they are both essential oil and herbal together. I really put these to the test. Pre-COVID, I was flying to the Philippines every 4 to 6 weeks. I would fly there, teach classes for 2 days, and fly home. And one of the flights was about 7 hours. And I could, once I knew the stewardesses were done walking around, I'd take my Serenity soft gels, 2 Serenity soft gels, balance on the bottom of my feet, put my headphones in, and I could get a solid 3 to 4 hours of sleep on an airplane over the middle of the ocean. And that was the only way I was able to jump right off that plane and be within 2 hours be teaching classes. So I know these soft gels will work. These graphs show you people who were falling asleep easier, faster, slept calmer, woke up less at night. And then you look at the compound effect of sleeping better, and that's how your day goes the next day, right? Being less lethargic, being more focused, doing housework, working on hobbies, driving long distances without getting tired. So those are all benefits that you're going to see. The other thing was people who were sleeping better were actually burning 500 more calories per day and walking 2,800 more steps. Spent twice as much time being active because they're feeling better. So there's my plug for a good night's sleep.
Elise,
Yes.
didn't the study also show a decrease in cortisol levels when using Serenity soft gels?
I know it did
Not
with Shinrin-yoku, which I'm going to touch on, but yes, I want to say,
Right? I remember that, that's one of the benefits is not
Yeah.
just sleep, but the decrease in cortisol levels.
I was thinking it mentioned that in these 2 studies, but maybe not. I'm sure deeper. Like I just took screenshots of the things, but yes. And
Yeah.
cortisol is like, right? We want to run from the bear, but not all day long. We've got to turn it off. So for sure, I'm sure that that was in there. It just makes sense because you wouldn't be able to sleep better if your cortisol was still peaking.
Exactly.
So, okay. Oh, whoa, what did I just do? Well, here we go. Let's try that again. Okay. So couple tips for getting a good night's sleep. Diffusing 30 minutes before bed. Take 1 to 2 Serenity soft gels 30 minutes before bed, and then apply the Serenity stick or the essential oil blend to your wrists, back of your neck, bottoms of feet, all the places that Faye and I have talked about to help you get that good night's sleep. Okay, and then a couple other quick tips. Just having a regular sleep schedule, turning off your devices, limiting your caffeine. So the emotional eating, like we got to cut that back towards bedtime, and just really having that space for sleep set aside, right? I remember when my kids were little, the big thing was to not let your babies play in their crib, have a separate playpen or pack and play or whatever it was where they would play, but make sure that crib and that bedroom was where they knew they slept. We read a story, we sing a song, we say our prayers, we go to bed, right? And having that sleep environment. And I think that that applies to us as adults as well. So looking at your bedroom and how you can help that be a calm and peaceful place. Okay, I did not talking about this one, but we're going to talk about it anyway because I have personally had some great results. This is a newer blend from doTERRA called Shinrin-yoku. It is based on the forest bathing technique that's been popular in Japan for years and years. It's basically the practice of spending time outside, not just outside in a cement parking lot, an asphalt parking lot, outside in nature, walking through the park or the mountains and breathing in nature. So what they found is people that participated in forest bathing in a regular way, it showed that it lowered their cortisol, lowered their pulse rate, lowered their blood pressure, greater parasympathetic nerve activity. So parasympathetic system kicking in, fire's out, bear's gone. Lower sympathetic nerve activity, again, not running from the bear, than people who are always in those city environments. So what doTERRA did is they walked through those Japanese forests and used all their tools and monitors and whatever, figured out what it was we were smelling, what those aromas were, found them in the essential oils, and made this blend. It is, I don't know how you explain how it smells. Faye, you might have a better description than me, but it's a little invigorating, but in a very calming way. It's fresh. That's probably the best word. Just a very fresh feeling, fresh smell. So what they found is when they had people start using Shinrin Yoku, is their systolic blood pressure fell, their diastolic blood pressure number fell, their pulse rate would drop, morning cortisol levels had a 40% drop. That's amazing. And then your lymphocytes, that's part of your immune system, and your natural killer cell count increase. So we're talking stress, cortisol, blood pressure, immune system, everything. Now, so I saw this at our convention when they introduced Shinrin Yoku, and I took that to heart. My husband, like I mentioned, is in law enforcement, has been since 1999. Right now, he's a parole officer, super high stress job, and he has a family history of high blood pressure. So he is on blood pressure medication both morning and night, and his average blood pressure, you can see on that first day when we started, 139/96. That was on medication. We're not okay with that, right? We want to be in that 120/80 range. And that 139/96 was his norm. Those 140, low 140s, high 90s was his norm on medication. And there would still be days that it would spike really high. So I decided to put Shinrin Yoku to the test. After he puts his vetiver on his big toe, we roll Shinrin Yoku across the bottom of his feet. That's it. Once in a while, I'll throw it in the diffuser, but I usually have balance or something else diffusing. And we started tracking his blood pressure. Now you can see like 148/98, crazy day at work, that's typical. But within the month, by March 22nd, so 3 weeks, 123/89. That speaks volumes to me. If anyone else is tracking their blood pressure or has a loved one who they're tracking their blood pressure, that's where we want to be. That's the sweet spot, right? Even after 12 hours of arresting fugitives on a long fugitive shift through the night, 126/89. And then over a month later, still just rolling Shinrin Yoku on his feet every night, 129/91. Not perfect, but we are lowering that blood pressure and getting closer to where he needs to be to stay healthy without extra medications. So I just like to share that because you can meditate, journal, walk, take longer walks, all of those things, but literally just rolling this oil on the bottom of your feet is going to give you results when it comes to stress and your body's reaction to that stress. So, okay, Adaptiv, my next favorite after balance, mostly because we have it in these 3 forms. We've got the blend we can throw in the diffuser, we've got the rollers, and we've got the capsules. These capsules are my go-to, right along with my Balance essential oil. The Adaptiv capsules, I'm going to read a little bit. They have the Adaptiv essential oil blend, and then they also have GABA in there. And I loved this description of the role of GABA in your brain is your emotional brakes. When you don't have enough brakes, you get out of control just like a car does. So GABA gives your brain the emotional brakes, is instrumental in protecting against anxiety and depression. Low GABA leads to feelings of anxiety and depression. So taking those Adaptiv capsules to me are just as much preventative and proactive as they are something to take when you're symptomatic. I take one every single morning. And if it's like a day or possibly going to be a day, I take 2. And the other thing that I have found super effective to just keeping that cortisol level, that stress level, for me, it's my heart racing. I can be pounding through a presentation and my watch will be, are you exercising? Your heart rate is over 100 beats per minute. Nope, just giving a presentation, or nope, just working really hard on, whatever else it is throughout my day. And So I like to take Adaptiv with the Copaiba soft gels as well, because they work with the
Oh, cannabinoid system.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm like, it's right here. Endo. Yes, which is part of your parasympathetic sympathetic nervous system, right? It's that fight or flight. So I will alternate. Sometimes I'll do 2 Adaptiv if I'm feeling that extra stress, or I'll do an Adaptiv with a couple of Copaiba. Copaiba, whichever way you want to say it. And I love that. I also, you've got some tips over here on the side of ways to use the Adaptiv. An Epsom salt bath is probably one of my next favorites. I am a bath girl. George and Lily, you asked about just like the coping skills of stress, replacing alcohol or food. I would say for me, and Faye, I want you to chime in too, taking the Adaptiv, the Copaiba ahead of time, using the balance on my feet before I start my day, that is what helps me get through. And then recognizing, okay, it's 2 in the afternoon and I'm reaching my limit, I can go take another Adaptiv. Or I can grab the roller and put it right inside my elbows, or I can throw it in the diffuser. Or honestly, my very favorite thing to do is I'll put in my headphones and I walk. I have a large circular driveway. I walk 3 laps is 1,000 steps for my driveway. I put in my headphones. Sometimes I don't even turn anything on, but they're noise canceling. I put them in and I walk outside, put that Shinrin Yoku on. And that is, so it's forming a different habit to deal with the stress, but then it's also dealing with it before it happens, because we know it's going to come, right?
Well, yeah. And what's really nice is what these do is actually reset our nervous system. Like we actually react differently. I was like you, Elise. I came into using the essential oils. We were having a lot of stress. It was during the financial meltdown, 2007, 2008, the writer's strike, the television industry was awful, and that's what Joel was in. And we were losing our house. I mean, it was just really stressful. And I already knew about so much of this stuff, meditation, deep breathing, yoga, but it just wasn't cutting it. My stress was so high. And started using these oils, but I didn't use them reactively. I used them just on a daily basis. And I found that by doing that, I actually started responding differently. Like instead of these big highs and then lows, things just got more even. Didn't mean I didn't react, but that reaction wasn't as high and I could recover quicker. And then I noticed, like when the pandemic happened, right, and all that financial, my reaction was so much different after using these oils consistently to support the nervous system. And so that's what I always recommend. It's like if you're just always reacting, you're not really giving your body the chance to repair and rebalance.
And I like to think of it as if we're running from the bear, right? We're in survival mode. Sometimes, a lot of times, our body, our brain forgets to stop running when the bear's gone. So then we're still running. There's no bear, but then when the bear does come or the fire is there, we're already stretched so thin that our reaction is worse, right? Because we are just already emotionally exhausted because we've been running from a bear that's not there.
Right.
So Adaptiv helps our brain, those emotional breaks, turn it off. The bear's gone. The fire's out. I notice for me, like the little stresses, things that come up, I come back down quicker, easier, right? Or I just don't notice them at all. I I don't notice the physical up and down. The stress is still there, but I don't have those physical symptoms of my heart racing, stress sweating, whatever it is, wanting to emotional eat, wanting to check out in some way, with that consistent use and kind of training our body to not have to be in survival mode all the time.
Right.
Anyway, okay, so guys, did we get all of our questions? Let me pull up the chat. That is the end of my presentation. My call to action for you is get your oils on. If you don't have one of these 3, or I should say 4, and add Shinrin Yoku in there, incorporate one of them into your routine. Don't wait until your blood pressure is through the roof. Don't wait until you're not sleeping. Don't wait until you're feeling panicky 24/7. Incorporate it into your system now, into your routine now, and your body. You will start to alleviate symptoms that maybe you didn't know you had. Maybe you felt like that was normal, and you're going to find a new normal, a new healthier normal for your emotional health. Let's see. So drinking, snacking, losing 10 pounds. So yeah, I'm an emotional eater, but Virginia, when I am really stressed, I don't eat. And I totally get that. So, and that's where taking the Adaptiv every morning, balance on your feet, adding extra when you're worried you're going to be homeless or whatever that situation is, your job, you might lose your job. Adding the extra Copaiba or extra Adaptiv is going to help keep your body in a better homeostasis to deal with the stress so that you're eating, because eating's a good thing. So any other questions or anything that we can clarify for you guys who are on here live?
If you are like I am on blood pressure meds, and the doctors say there's no data for other systems, how would you phase out a prescription drug in favor of something natural like this?
Yeah, that is a tricky thing. For us, for my husband and I, he still takes his regular blood pressure medicine. We just know that the Shinrin Yoku is lowering it even more. Now, if he got to the point that he was consistently 120/80 for an extended period of time, then we would look at let's try a couple nights without your nighttime one. Over the weekend, when you're not going to be in the middle of a fugitive chase, right? Or something like that, kind of a controlled thing. Or maybe we go half the dose. My husband's dose is super low. So that's why I say we cut one out, but cut it in half or go every other day. My mom is on estrogen blockers because she's a breast cancer survivor and has been dealing with all this depression and anxiety and everything that comes with that, and started using Copaiba soft gels and the MetaPower system, which we can't even talk about tonight because there's so much goodness in that. But she's actually been able to cut her estrogen blocker dosage in half. And how that came about was when she went to her checkups and did her blood work, her doctor was like, this looks great. Let's cut you back by half and see how you're feeling. She didn't even have to say, I'm doing something natural, herbal, whatever. He just could tell that her body was being supported and her levels were in such good shape that he had her cut back by half. So I'm not a doctor and I don't want to give advice on exactly what to do. You want to cut back very slowly when you feel like that's right, in a controlled way. And honestly, there are amazing functional medicine doctors out there that will support a more balanced approach to things too. So
yeah, and I would definitely suggest using, for instance, if you choose Shinrin Yoku, that you use it consistently for at least 30 days. Recheck how your blood pressure is doing. and then continue using the oil while you slowly reduce the amount of the medication. But check, you have to monitor to see how your body's reacting. But I would first do both together, and then slowly come back if you're getting a good response.
Yeah, my husband still takes his regular medication. His body's just responding even better, but we're leaving it how it is, right? Rather than having to increase the dose. Because that's what we worried about, was by the time he went for his next physical, the doctors were going to be like, we're going to increase your dose. And we're like, let's just get it down to where we don't need to increase anything. So,
Yeah. But an experiment for you guys could be reducing the dose while still using the oil, and see if it's still maintaining that same level.
oh, for sure. Because we don't want to be taking stuff our body's not even using, just
Exactly.
clogging up our kidneys and peeing it out, right? So
And liver, yeah.
liver, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Good question. Any other questions or things that we can clarify? Okay, well,
But I'm curious, you guys, we talked about several different oils. Did one stand out for you? If so, like, put in the chat which one stood out the most for you, or the one that you want to try first? Because I know we listed a lot.
we did.
Stacy, you said balance is your daily thing. Is that the place to start?
For me, because I wanted, honestly though, when I started using Balance 15 years ago, that was the only blend available. Serenity didn't come for a couple more years, and Adaptiv has only been around for 2-ish years. Yeah. So if you don't want to add a supplement like Adaptiv, I tell people, because we're so programmed to taking a pill, taking supplements, start with an Adaptiv capsule in the mornings. But if you're not wanting to take one more capsule, then I would say Balance on the bottom of your feet is a really great place to start.
Yeah, I would say morning and night.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Balance.
Serenity all valerian, or is that what it was?
No, Serenity is a blend of essential oils, and then there's the stick that has the Serenity blend plus valerian.
Okay.
The actual oil blend is lavender, German chamomile, sandalwood, just, all very nice calming oils. Sandalwood helps turn off the chatter in our brain. The lavender helps us relax. So it's a very nice blend.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's good. I should have clarified that better. And I don't have Serenity in my office for obvious reasons. I don't use that one while I'm working, but sorry, it is a standalone essential oil blend with valerian. Sorry, how oils can help lower cortisol levels. Nunya, Faye, I want to look on doTERRA's website.
About what?
I want to say, I am so sorry, that there is a course that doTERRA has on stress.
I know they have one on sleep.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I don't think one on stress.
Let me grab a drink here.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
So,
there is a Shinrin Yoku course that may touch on cortisol, but it's not going to be a generalized cortisol and essential oils. Yeah, that's probably going to be, if you go to your doTERRA.com and scroll down to the bottom, there's a spot that says product courses. And there is a Shinrin-yoku course that we'll talk about it a little bit. I don't know. I'm gonna make a note.
Also, Elise, did they put out the information from the study on the sleep system?
Well, you would sure think so. I mean,
Right?
they have a
And
sleep
that's something else
course.
we could look for, because I'm pretty sure that also affected cortisol.
Yes. Let me just see.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. doTERRA Serenity Sleep System Epigenetic Research. It is a blog post.
Okay.
Let me put the link in the chat so that if anybody wants to grab it, they can. And I think that's where you're going to find those cortisol results as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like, yeah. Also, well, just glancing over it, it decreased inflammatory markers as well as metabolic age markers significantly. Anyway, so that's something that you're going to have to kind of Google around with a little bit if you're wanting specific. I know that Adaptiv will lower cortisol levels, Shinrin-yoku will, and I'm 99% sure Serenity does as well. But you could go through doTERRA's science blog. doTERRA also has a doTERRA science Instagram account, right? And you might be able to find some things there specifically on cortisol. So good question. Okay, guys. Well, oh,
I was just going to say, kind of side thing, but with cortisol, we know MetaPower also influences cortisol.
mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
which is another great class. So watch for us to be teaching that one.
Right.
Next week we are teaching oils on the go. I will cover everything from what oils you want to have packed, as well as tips and tricks for having your oils with you without feeling like you need to carry a briefcase of essential oils and supplements, how to kind of pare it down a little bit, some of my favorite containers and ways to use them, as well as kind of some good travel tips and things that way. So we'll do that next week. So if you know of someone that is a traveler or needs some support with their traveling, feel free to invite them to come. If you've got questions about how to get the oils that we've talked about today, or like the Adaptiv capsules, Serenity capsules, the person who invited you is going to be your very best tool between now and next week. So thank you guys.
What time is the class next week?
Same time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time.
5 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that work? I know we get a lot of Pacific people, but if not, it goes late for Central. I could bump it to 7 next week if we need to. We're good. Okay, we'll stick with 6.
Yeah, just across the board, it's easier to
I'm in the Eastern, and 8 o'clock is just fine for me.
Exactly. So great. Thanks, everybody. Thanks a
Yes,
lot.
thanks so much. Okay, we'll see you guys all soon.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye-bye.